Do you want to live your life free of guilt and full of peace? Today, I'm going to talk about a manifestation hack that will change how you see yourself and in turn, change your entire life. This is a shift that has really helped me recently to wake up to wake up as a person who is full of peace and free of guilt and is as God created me, because there is a Course in Miracles lesson that says, I am still as God created me. God did not create you full of guilt and full of anxiety, right? God created you as a guilt-free, peaceful person. So we are going to talk about how to manifest that today. I love manifestation and I love inner peace. So let's go ahead and combine them. By the way, my name is Elizabeth Cermak. I'm a psychotherapist turned coach here to help sensitive people find inner peace and bring the vertical more into this world. So let's talk first about this manifestation hack. I love manifestation hacks. They're super fun, right? And manifestation is about stepping into the identity of the person who has what you want, right? And in this case, we want inner peace. We want to be full of peace and free of guilt. So let's name, the first step is to name the identity. Name it, what is it that we want? And you can do this with anything. Right now in this video, of course, I'm talking about inner peace, being free of guilt. Like, can you imagine your whole entire body being free of guilt, guilt-free? Full of peace, guilt-free. So name the identity. First of all, let's name the identity that you want, like a guilt-free. I am a guilt-free woman, right? We're stepping into this identity, guilt-free me, peaceful me. And then something that always helps me with manifestation is noticing, acknowledging how this benefits everyone in my life and this benefits the world. Me being as God created me being guilt-free and full of peace actually will benefit the entire world, will benefit all of my loved ones, everyone in my life, and the world. So the guilt-free me, the peaceful me, and this is in the highest good of all. It benefits everyone. It absolutely does. Okay, so we've named our identity, the guilt-free me, the peaceful me, guilt-free woman. I'm stepping into my identity as a guilt-free woman. I'm starting my guilt-free life today, this instant right now. I'm starting my peaceful life. I'm full of peace. My house is full of peace. My body is full of peace. I am a peaceful woman. I am a guilt-free woman. So we're naming our identity. Second, we are acknowledging that this is in the highest good for all. This benefits all. And now what we're going to do is think of this as ourselves in the third person. So this is a hack that I love. I had a client bring this up recently, and I think it was Cynthia Sue Larson that talked about this, and I think Neville Goddard talks about this. This whole video kind of combines manifestation like Neville Goddard and A Course in Miracles, Cynthia Sue Larson, right? So thinking about yourself in the third person. So what I love this idea of, like, isn't it lovely that Elizabeth is so guilt-free? Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth has such a peaceful life? So think of, and of course you substitute in your own name. So think of yourself in the third person, and this can go with anything. Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth, whatever, you can fill in the blanks. It doesn't have to just be about being guilt-free and peaceful, but that's what this specific video is about. But isn't it lovely that yada, yada, yada has that now? Isn't it lovely? Isn't it so awesome that Elizabeth is guilt-free and full of peace? And I think there's a couple reasons why this third person observation works. I think our subconscious accepts it more easily because we're just observing it. We're observing it as a truth instead of like trying to force it. And it's also a little bit more gentler. It's just more gentle, so we're observing this truth about ourselves. And we can observe ourselves as however we want. And I think our subconscious is more willing to accept that. And when we're observing it, we're actually able, especially as empaths, we're able to feel other people's feelings, right? So when we're observing ourselves, we're able to feel it. We're able to feel it real. Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth is so guilt-free? Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth has found her power? Isn't it so lovely that whatever your name is free of guilt and so full of peace? It's true, because we are. This is nothing that we have to strive for. Manifestation is not about striving and working, right? I mean, we do take actions in the world. We live our lives, and that's fine, and we practice and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's more about stepping into the identity of the person who has it, right? So we're not forcing it. And inner peace is part of us. God created us. We are peace. So it's not, we think we have to like work for it, and do things in the world to make ourselves feel peaceful. Well, that's never going to work, right? So it is who we are. And I mean, this is something I talk about in all of my videos. There is a place of peace within us. It's already here. We don't have to create it. We just have to get rid of the stuff that's making us not be aware of it, right? Okay, so we have named our identity. We have named our identity. We have observed how it is. We have acknowledged that this is in the highest good of all, and then we have acknowledged it in the third person. Isn't it lovely that Susan has this? Isn't it lovely that Susan has peace now? Isn't it so lovely that she feels more and more peaceful every day? And this is not about, I always say this, but this is not about perfect inner peace. This is not about absolutely no guilt ever. So this is not perfect. This is not about perfect inner peace, but it's about expanding it more and more and more and being aware of it more and more and more, right? What we put our attention on expands. It's about sensing it because we are sensitive people and we can sense that. We want to put our senses on peace, right? Peace is our teacher. Peace is my teacher today. Okay, so what did I say? So let's go back. We acknowledge we acknowledge the identity that we want. We affirmed that this is in the highest good for all. We thought about it in the third person. We thought about it, isn't it lovely that Elizabeth, we're thinking about it in the third person. Now for the fourth step, let's tie this to A Course in Miracles and acknowledge that this is the truth of who we are. So A Course in Miracles says, I am still as God created me, right? So we can do this even in the third person. Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth is still as God created her? She is full of peace and free of guilt. Isn't it lovely that Susan is still as God created her? She is full of peace and she is full of peace and free of guilt. I mean, this is next level manifestation, right? It is actually as God created you. God created you full of peace and free of guilt. God created you this way. So let's connect it to that. Let's affirm that. Okay, so let's see. I wrote these steps down, but I'm going to have to look at my notes for a second. So we named it. We named the identity that we want. We affirmed that this is in the highest good. We thought of it in the third person. Isn't it so lovely that Susan has this? And then we tied it into A Course in Miracles by saying it is actually as God created us. This is actually the truth in us. This is not only our highest good, it's actually the highest truth. It's actually the absolute truth. And then the fifth step is we come back to it, because nothing's perfect. Well, I shouldn't say nothing's perfect, but things are perfect. Everything's perfect, right? Instead of nothing's perfect, let's say everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. We just come back to it. We reaffirm it. We come back to it. We make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Even if there's a little piece of you that can identify with it now, that's fine. There's a part of you that identifies with it. That's the truth of you, right? So we come back to it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's put our hands on our heart. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. So let's go through the steps. We're naming the identity that we want. Mine is guilt-free, full of peace. You can use that, or if there's something else you want to add, go ahead and name it. Name it right now. I acknowledge that this is in my highest good. This is in the highest good of all my loved ones. This is in the highest good of the world. For me to be full of peace and free of guilt. I function best in the world this way, especially as a sensitive, as an empath. Then we think about it, we third person it. We think about it in third person. Isn't it lovely that Kristen is free of guilt and full of peace? Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth is now free of guilt and full of peace? Isn't it lovely? Isn't it so awesome that she is stepping into that identity? That is amazing. I love it. Okay, now we connected to A Course in Miracles. We actually affirm that this is actually who we are. Isn't it lovely that Elizabeth is as God created her? Isn't it wonderful that Elizabeth is still as God created her? Okay, so then we tie it, we affirm that this is truly who we are. And then we come back to it because old patterns will arise, right? And that's okay. This is simply an old pattern arising. I now am stepping back into my guilt-free identity. We see ourselves as this person. Thinking about it in the third person is such a gentle, lovely thing to do. Isn't it so lovely that Elizabeth is so full of peace this holiday season? Star and Prudence are behind me in their holiday sweaters. They have their holiday sweaters on too. I don't know if you can see them. But I hope this was helpful today. I hope everybody's having a wonderful start to their holiday season. If you would like more videos about this, about finding inner peace, if you're a sensitive person, INFJ, empath, and you want more videos about expanding your inner peace, bringing the vertical into this world, which is something that we do naturally, something that us as sensitive people, we naturally bring the vertical dimension into this world, as long as we are connected, right? So if you want to stay connected to this version of you, go ahead and subscribe to these videos below, and you will be notified when I put a new video up. Peace and love. I hope everybody is doing wonderful. Sending you all my love, and I'll talk to you soon. Seriously, guys, do you want to show everybody your Christmas sweaters? So pretty. Okay, see you later.